So we're going to go through the customer journey. We're going to talk about customer journey in terms of like defining what that means, because I don't like things that are abstract. If I'm a visual person, then I like things to be tangible. And a lot of times, this digital stuff, this virtual stuff seems very abstract. So I try to put as many concrete tools and visuals together as possible to help walk you through. So we're going to talk a little bit about the customer journey and break that down. We're going to talk about specifically 3 categories of beliefs. And beliefs, the word belief can be interchanged with objections. So these are things that your customer is telling themselves right now. Hey there, it's Rhonda Melody. If you like what you're seeing, make sure to hit the subscribe button below so you know when I publish a new video, probably any minute now. And beliefs are they're based on stories, and stories are experiences that they have had along the way to build that belief, right? Then I'm going to give you the solution to your customer journey, which is your core problem planner. I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you some examples of this. And then I'm going to talk about implementation. I don't want to give you a tool and just say, here. I think that breaking these tools down into time increments where you can literally just slide it into your week at a glance. Like, guess how much time I'm going to tell you for implementation each day? I know, just go ahead and put it in the chat. Just guess how much time I'm going to stay on this part of the core problem planner. If you said 10 minutes, you were correct. 10 minutes is a magical number. If I give you the core problem planner, you come to this workshop and you think about all these things, they're new concepts. And then you're like really excited. It's clear while we're on the workshop, but then you go and do it by yourself. And now it's like 10 minutes is like 30 minutes. And now we're into an hour, we're an hour and a half. And we look up and we're confused and we're frustrated and we put it aside. Are you likely to go back to that thing? Probably not, because it's you don't understand it. It's confusing to you. You're trying to adopt the way someone is trying to coach or teach you. And it's not going to work. So therefore, doesn't work for me. Go on, next strategy, right? So we're changing that cycle. We're changing that cycle with a very easy implementation guide. Okay. So let's get right to it. I'm always going to start these workshops off this way. If you want more of the things that you love doing, so we could insert, like, if you want to enjoy more of the things you love, then, right, Simple Systems can help you do that, right? We can say that. If you want to enjoy more of the things you love, I could say the Business Binder can help you do that. So in today's instance, if you want to enjoy more of the things that you love, understanding your customer journey can help you do that. I really want to hit those big topics, those big rocks that are standing in your way and preventing you from really streamlining your business. All right, so let's head it to the customer journey. Your customer journey, as I have this in quotes and me in air quotes, is understanding your customer's beliefs and or objections. That's why I've got that in brackets around the problem your product or service solves. If you don't understand your customer, you can't speak to your customer. If you can't speak to your customer, then we can't translate into more traffic, more leads, and more sales to your offer or your product, right? We can't do it. So this is almost, folks are like, well, I need a marketing plan. I need a content plan. I need to post on social. Well, what are you going to post about? And I need to write a blog post. I need to publish a podcast. Well, if you don't understand your customer, I don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. It's really, really hard. And then that's why we carry those things around with us. Those are eat that frog tasks. And they're like albatross. They weigh us down and we're less likely to accomplish and go and do. So your customer journey, I get ahead of myself all the time. Your customer journey is going to help you with messaging around your product or offer. And it's going to help build a content plan around that product or offer, the solution. Okay. So we're going to break the customer journey down into 3 different categories. Okay. And this is, this is how we're going to talk about it. So 3 categories of beliefs. I'm going to explain exactly what those are. And I'm going to give you an example, and then we're going to see the solution. So the example of the belief will be in the 3 different categories, and then I will show you example of a solution. Okay. So we're breaking it down here. So when we talk about the customer journey, really the 3 categories of beliefs or objections are around these 3 things that are highlighted in yellow: vehicle, internal, and external. It really helps to break down these categories in these ways. And you don't have to have like more objections in the vehicle category or more in the internal or more in the external. We're just going to break these down, and I'll give you an example, and I think it'll be clear. So the first one is vehicle. What does that mean? It is the tool that they are currently using, and it's not really working for them. So I could give you an example for a vehicle, people who feel overwhelmed. The current vehicle or the product that they're currently using could be a day planner, or it could be printables, and it's not working for them. All right. Internally, the objections or the beliefs are all surrounding confidence. Can I do it? I don't think I can do it. It works for her, but it doesn't work for me. Right. External, those are typically things that are related to time, to money, support. I use that objection. Think about the Simple System sales page. I don't have time for that. So we show up for the things that are priority in our lives. I don't have money for that right now. Time is our most valuable asset, not money. We can always make more money. We can't get back time, right? Support could be support of, well, I don't understand the customer journey. Okay, I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide, right? Support could also be whether it's a Q&A session here in the community. Support could also be family and friends support, okay? So 3 categories of beliefs or objections. So when we start thinking objections like vehicle, what they're currently using, it's not working for them. This could be a product. It could be the service. It could be a system. The internal typically deals with confidence, and external are time, always time and money are external. So I'm going to break these down further and give you some belief objections as I've brainstormed them. All right. So I already told you the first one. I don't have time for that. That's a belief that they say. Why? Because they're running themselves ragged. They don't understand, or they don't have an expectation of their time, and they try to cram too many things into a day that not even Superwoman could get done, right? Another belief or objection is, I don't know where to start. So this belief or objection could come from someone who is well overqualified, but they're transitioning online. And because they're transitioning online and they're starting something new, that belief, I don't know where to start, is that they're starting from scratch. They're starting all over. My journey online was transitioning. At the point that I transitioned online 12 years ago, we're probably generating $400,000 a year in sales. 2 events, and that 400,000 came in just 8 days. And the items were like $3 and $4 items that were generating that amount of revenue. But I transitioned online, and I took a job for $15 an hour. It was almost like the job that I took was managing somebody's email inbox. But there were so many more things that I could do when I got in that job. And I realized that. But because I transitioned online, I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what to do. This looked like a good job. And so I applied. And it's those experiences that then overcome the belief, objection, story that I'm telling myself. I feel like I'm missing something. So the feel like you're missing something is a lot of times, especially with these slow offers, the thing that you're missing are like the exact steps I took to make such and such, or the exact step-by-step template to do this thing. We always are in doubt that even though we are an expert in the thing that we do, we could always make it better. And that's just that's the story that we tell ourselves. How can I make this better? Or I'm doing this for myself, but maybe because she says she's really good at the thing. She knows how to do it better than I do, right? I feel scattered. That's another belief objection that we tell ourselves. It's easier for me to do it than to hire someone to do it. Now, these are all really, these are all beliefs and objections that my customer has. And so I'm going to share the tool with you here in just a few minutes. But if I'm sitting down and in one of my assignments, I'm supposed to just brainstorm 10 beliefs or objections that my customer is telling themselves right now. They're telling themselves, I don't have time. I don't know where to start. I feel like I'm missing something. I feel scattered. It's easier for me to do it than to hire someone to help. I want these beliefs and objections that you're reading right now. I want you to feel like I am in your head. This will come over time. I think as we move through this workshop, you'll see that you yourself can sit down and brainstorm. But really where the optimization comes in for your service or your offer is that you have conversations with your customers. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that here in just a second, okay? So the solution, okay, is part of the customer journey. So we talked about the 3 categories, which were what? Vehicle, which is the current thing that they're using, internal, which typically deals with confidence, and then external, which is time and money. Majority of it is they're going to say time or money, right? So what you do, you'll see, I don't have time for that, right? So what is the solution? The solution then that I offer, the product that I offer is simple systems, right? I don't have time for that. What is my core focus this 30 days is to get you back your time. I specifically ask you that in the video ask. And I could get even more granular is that I don't have time. I'll give you back your time. I'll give you back your time with Time Management Rockstar, because when you start to understand your time, then you're going to manage it differently. Cheval, case in point. She's not scrolling. She's leaving things upstairs. And when she comes down, she's being more productive, right? Jennifer, doing the daily 3. You know, pick and choose your battles. Like, what are the things that you that work for you that you can make part of your daily habit to get what you want, do more of what you love, right? I don't know where to start. So for me, the solution, if someone comes to me, I don't know where to start, I feel overwhelmed, is SOP frameworks. SOP frameworks are 30 proven processes and systems that I've used in my business, whether it's client onboarding, client offboarding, discovery call, how to create a process. I mean, there are a ton in there, a membership. Someone asked me this the other day, and it was one of those light bulb moments that I had because I was running an ad, and someone on Instagram said, tell me the processes that are in there. And I listed just a handful of those processes, and she said, sold. And I went, oh my gosh. Probably other people have the same question, but they don't take the time to ask me this question. So guess what? I'm revamping my ads and actually including the processes inside SOP. That's a side note. Sorry, went down a rabbit hole. But listen to your people. I was listening to my person, and it literally took a second for me to write them down. And she literally said, sold. You've got me. Sold. This is what I want. So listen to your people. I feel something is missing. So SOP frameworks is one of those things that it's proven processes. It's literally step by step by step. They're proven processes based on things that I've done over 17 years. They're proven processes coaching. I am a performance coach inside of a $25,000 program. And literally step by step, I give you how I practice and how I run my business and how I coach and how I help other business owners, as well as what is another solution. The other solution would be simple systems. I feel scattered. Simple systems. What is, you know, it's funny. I say, like, what is the goal of simple systems? It's really to center you, keep you focused, and I'm your accountability partner. It's like the fun thing I get to do, to be your accountability partner. So when you feel scattered, I want you to come back. There was someone who said, you know, I fell off the bandwagon with Time Manager Rockstar. That's great. Let's get back on it. And she even said that it was like a eat that frog. So she's really resisting. I can feel the resistance that she has to it. But my encouragement to her was with trust the process. I want to see you at the finish line. And I think then if we stop and focus on that finish line, Simple Systems is the solution to not feel scattered anymore. It's easier for me to do it than hire someone to help. A lot of times people will say this, but they still stay in that cycle of overwhelm. And what SAP frameworks can do is it can help you basically, just like Week at a Glance or even the Business Binder. It's a framework for a system or a process. And then you customize it for your business. You shoot a Loom video, you record the process and why you choose to do the thing you do in order to complete the task. And now we have a training video. And now we know exactly who we're looking for to hire. And when you know that and you hire that person, then that frees you up and your business explodes. I've seen it time and time and time again. For me, I was stuck here for so long. And it was just in a sea of chaos with my event, which now my best friend, Leanne, came touch me on the shoulder. Hey, how can I help? I was doing customer service. I was running a register. I was opening and shutting a pack and play. I was doing all of the things, talking to volunteers. Oh my gosh, I feel so sad for those volunteers because they would come and ask me something and it would almost be like I would go, bleh. And then I would run and put out another fire. It is not easier for you to do something. It is easier for you to document it and then figure out who's the best person for that job and then hire someone. That is what you do. So the customer journey, we're going to recap because I'm getting ready to give you the tool here. The 3 categories of beliefs. So when you are looking at your customer and you're wondering what objections that they have, just think external, what are they currently using? Internal is all about confidence. And then vehicle is what they're currently using. Internal is their confidence, and external is time and money. I've given you several examples of belief. And the reason why I gave you these is because I wanted to hit home for you and where you are. I want you to feel like I'm in your brain and that like we're speaking the same language, because the reason for me is that I've talked to hundreds of women and members who have been through my programs to know exactly what it is they're going to say kind of over and over again. It never gets old. And in the video ask, I love getting them because they reinforce that I've got the solution that they need. I don't want someone to be in a program and I can't help them. It's not, I just want to take your money for the sake of taking your money. I want you to have a transformation. All right. So I gave you example of the belief in really each one of the categories. So if we go back, I don't have time. That's what? That's an external, right? It's time and money. I don't know where to start. That's a confidence. That's going to be an internal, right? Can I really do this? I feel like I'm missing something. I think that I feel like I'm missing something for me is also an internal. That's a confidence. I feel scattered. That's another internal. I feel scattered. It's easier for me to do it than to hire someone to help. I would say that would be more, it could be a combination, but I'm going to say more, it's an external in terms of support. Okay. So we've given you an example of the problems and the solutions, and then we just labeled them in the 3 different categories: vehicle, internal, external. Okay. It's this right here is new. It could potentially be new vocabulary to you. So if you're just like that light bulb is kind of coming on right now, or if you need to go back and watch this again, it's okay. It's a new concept. All we're doing is taking a abstract idea about people's objections around your product and service, and we're organizing them into categories. And then when we organize them into categories, we'll see how the magic comes into play here in just a second. Okay, so I'm going to share with you the core problem planner. We're going to talk about the problem, which we kind of just did, the solution. These are the steps of it. The cost, and it's not just the cost for the customer. Evangelize, we'll get to that in just a second. And then how all of these put together actually map out your content for you, okay? This is a quote. So I told you I'm in a high level program, and one of my team members and I, we had a conversation. And in the weekly conversation in our meeting, he said, optimization comes from conversation. So optimization can come from conversation, whether that is in the video ask that I get from you to tell me where you are, objections that you have, what puts you over the edge to purchase the program. Optimization comes from questions that you get in your inbox. You may think that it is a very simple, very easy to understand solution, but if you continue to get a question and it's the same question over and over again, you need to listen to your people. Trello Business System, we've sold over 4,000 templates, and we're in the third iteration. The reason why we're in the third iteration of that product is because I've listened to the people who've purchased. There were things that I thought were clear, not so clear. And the way that I laid it out, I thought that it was clear, not so clear. It's not that I changed the content. It's the way that I answered the question. That's why I do Trello Roundup, because those are the most frequently asked questions that I get. And again, my goal is to get you the transformation of getting back your time and organizing your business. So if I don't listen to you, then I'm not optimizing. Okay. So optimization comes from comes from conversation. And this could be just literally one-on-one, right? Talking with your client, doing an offboarding session. So it's just, this is a huge, huge, huge point. But conversation for those who are introverts, and I'm raising my hand, and don't feel like they want to get on a call and actually talk to their customer, there are other ways that you can optimize. And I've just shared a couple of those with you. Okay. All right. So when we hop off, Heather does her magic, and she's going to load this up into the dashboard under workshops. And you're also going to get a copy of the core problem planner. And the reason why I introduced this and explained it at the top when we got to the core problem planner was that customer problem. So we list out all of the customer problems right here. The solution, we list out your solution to that problem. That's why when we started with the problems, I wanted to organize them for you. Remember, vehicle, internal, and external. Vehicle is what they're currently using. Internal is what? Confidence. And external is what? Time and money. So we just do 10. So this is just literally initially a brain dump. And if you've been having conversations with your customer and you can really get their language, beautiful. The reason why we showed the problem, now the solution. What product or service are you offering that solves your customer's problem, right? So here we have the problem. Now we have the solution, right? We're going to go over cost here in just a second. Cost is cost to me. It is cost for the price, and it is value. We're going to talk about evangelizing here in just a minute, and then we're going to talk about content. And look, VIE, and we're going to get into storytelling. So let's just keep going. In the core problem planner, 10 problems that your dream customer faces. So again, I got ahead of myself. Brainstorm. If you're not currently having conversations with your clients, brainstorm what you think people's problems are around your solution. Easy. The problems are based on conversations that you have, and then you can use simple tools like video ask to survey. If you've not had a lot of conversations with your customers and you have, say, for example, small email list, I don't care if there are 5 people on there, you could very easily create a video ask and send it to them and start really narrowing down, instead of just brainstorming what you think their problems are. Then what the video ask is going to reveal is what their problems really are. Okay. And then, so we go 10 and 10. So 10 problems that your customer faces, and then 10 solutions based on your product or service. Now, let's talk about cost, right? When it comes to the core problem planner. So the reason why I want you to think about cost is that if you have multiple offers right now, and you're really focused on one particular offer, and it takes you a lot in order to deliver the solution, there may be another opportunity in your bag or your product or your service that you're overlooking, that the cost for you to fulfill is much lower. Your customer still gets the transformation that they're looking for. You're solving the problem, but your margins are better. I think that people always feel that digital products have high margins, and they do. However, the cost of fulfillment, if you sell something and then you have a lot of work, or you have a lot of customer service, or if you have a lot of follow-up, then it may not be as profitable to you as you think. All right. So what is the cost to you for fulfillment? And you need to understand, like, how much time is it going to take you on average to fulfill? And then you need to have an hourly rate on what that fulfillment cost is. What is the price that you're selling? I think that people get confused here. The price that you're selling your offer, and then the value to your customer. Those are two different numbers. Typically, values are higher. Like when I tell you guys how much time, when I ask you the question, how much time do you want to save, right? And we're just going to take, most folks in here were a minimum of 5 hours. There are a couple that were just 2, but let's just say that the value that you want to save is 5 hours. And I'm going to put a minimum rate, very minimum, of $30 an hour. Okay. So that is what? $150 a week. That's $600 a month. Okay. So the value now for you saving 5 hours is 600 times, it could be 12, right? If I'm saving you 5 hours a week, we put a value on your time, and then we multiply that by 52 weeks. I mean, that's what, 6 and then another 12, 18,000. Wait, no, 6,000. Yeah. And 12, 6. Don't ask me to do math right now. You're putting me on the spot. But anyway, it's the value to you getting your time back. That could be another customer. That could be the fact that you're freeing that up. That time can be delegated to someone else so that you can do what you love doing. And the price that I sold this community for, I mean, look at the difference between that. Your price anchoring is what you're doing, right? If you're saying, hey, I'm going to save you $6,000, like the value of this program is like $6,000. And what I'm going to sell you this program is $297 a year. And you will be like, well, that's a no-brainer. If I get my time back, if that is really your core problem that you have, and you have done everything vehicle, use a planner, you are having those internal confidence, objections, thinking about, I'm scattered. Am I missing anything? I'm starting from scratch. And then you have the external objections of time and money, right? Then the price that I'm offering this community and the fulfillment cost to me, I mean, what I'm trying to do is to make that a no-brainer, but you really need to document it. We're visual people, and documenting what it is your product or service in terms of fulfillment, the price that you're selling, and the value to your customer is really important. Okay. Now, core problem planner, when it comes to evangelizing the problem. So I like to say, talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old. And this is not to talk down to anyone, right? So the test is the problem that you're solving. And I've had this happen. So I want you to talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old, right? And so the test is when, oh my gosh, you're having a conversation. Oh my gosh, she's in my head. She knows exactly what it is. She's hitting all of my pain points. And I'm going to give you an example of this here in just a second when it comes to content. When it's not the right problem to solve, then your eyes glaze over and your face is falling off. I mean, you've had those conversations with people. You're like really interested. Oh, what is it that you do? And then they're sitting there and explaining, and you had to be a physicist and go to school for an additional 20 years in order to understand what the heck they're saying. That is not a good problem to solve. If people's faces are sliding off, That is not where you need to go. We want to solve one problem and get them a quick win. All right. So that's why we talk about the problem in terms of 5-year-old speak. It makes it very easy. And it's kind of fun when you think about the problem and communicating that in terms of a 5-year-old, that they would understand what it is you're saying. Okay. Let's keep going because I'm going to put a bow on all of this. So when it comes to content, the easiest way, and let me just go back here. Hold on. I'm going to exit so I can see the slide. The easiest way. So we have the problem, we have the solution, we have how much it costs me to fulfill, we have how much you're charging, the value to your customer, how valuable is the solution that you're offering? How easy is it for you to speak about it? Are they like, oh my gosh, she's in my head, or is their face sliding off? So when we get a winner problem, the solution matches the problem, the cost is minimal to you for fulfillment, the price and value sync with your dream customer, and they're like, she's in my head, then how do we translate all that? You're like, okay, I filled out this spreadsheet, Rhonda. Now, what do I do with all of this? So now let's put the bow on top. You have just now created your content, and we've done it in terms of breaking down people's objections into 3 categories. And I'm saying this over and over again. The reason being is it could be new vocabulary to you. Okay. So vehicle, what they're currently using, internal, confidence, external is time and money, right? So let me go to, is it right here? Yeah. So many of us in this community have got great stories. Everybody has great stories, right? I consider myself advanced maternal age. That means that I have a whole bunch of stories, right? And so when someone says to me that I don't have time for that, that would be the problem, right? So the solution to that problem is managing their expectation of time. How do I do that? I shared with you Time Management Rockstar right here inside of Simple Systems. But how do I not say, hey, Leslie, Simple Systems is the solution. This is all you need. And it's going to solve your problem of time. Do I say it in that way? No. So let's talk like a 5-year-old. Let's tell a story. And the reason I say the story is now we match a story, and we all have good stories, with the problem. So I'm going to say, Leslie, several years ago, we were new to homeschooling. I was running my business. Daniel would go off on deployments, and I literally would feel behind before my feet hit the ground. Like I felt behind the 8 ball before my feet hit the ground. I would wake up, I would still be in my jammies, and I would spin around with my cup of coffee, and it was 12 noon. I still not had accomplished anything in my day. I didn't know where my vacuum cleaner was. I was not, it was getting to the point, it was harder and harder for me to get out of bed. And so what I want to do with that story is that if Leslie is having a problem with time management and she's having a problem feeling overwhelmed, I want something in that story, which is a true story. I'm not manipulating her. It's a true story. It's why all of this really started to happen, is that I felt overwhelmed. I mean, I couldn't start homeschooling until the house was picked up. I had taken on and didn't make the decision lightly to homeschool. But I was kind of sassy. It's like, oh, I got a master's degree in education. I can do this. I was extremely overwhelmed. Like the house, nothing was happening there. I was having confidence issues with feeling like, are my kids getting everything that they needed? So, mama was just like in a snowball going down the hill at 100 miles an hour in overwhelm, right? And, I want to share that feeling and that experience. But what I had to do was, now here's my solution. But what I did is I thought, I had 2 choices. 1, I could continue down that path and nobody was going to be happy. Or 2, I could really implement processes to help carry the heavy load. And the first thing that I did was I created a chore chart for my kids. Because, if they know all the names to the Star Wars characters and they can scale tall cabinets to get the last cookie, then I can enlist the help of my team to get things done around the house. And that's why we've been doing a chore chart that works for 13 years. That alleviated one layer, right? And I can continue on that story and just talk about my solution and how I've been able to handle and manage it. Now, I'm not going to tell Leslie the whole story and just let her face light off, but I at least want to tell her enough to see if Leslie and I have a connection. If she's like, you know what, Rhonda seems like she's the real deal. She was an overwhelmed mom. She was trying to take care of everything. I'm overwhelmed right now. I'm trying to work and I'm trying to help my parents. So maybe she has the solution for me. I'm going to keep listening to her, right? We're starting that conversation. And then if I make an offer of hey, we're opening Simple Systems once a month, we're getting ready to open. And the first thing that we're going to focus on is time management, Rockstar. And our only focus for 30 days is getting back your time. How much time do you want to save? Because I've had conversations, because I've used storytelling, because I have gone through and I have listed out my customer. I'm trying to find the picture, because I've brainstormed what my customers' problems are and how I can help them and gone through this whole spreadsheet. Now we have a conversation and Leslie joins my program and we take the next step. Then it's on me to make sure that I give Leslie the tools and resources to give her the transformation that she wants. So you see how all of that is pulled together with the stories that we're living in our lives. But you got to understand the customer journey. And the customer journey begins with the problems that your customer is facing. And I think breaking those objections down into more tangible things, I'm going to combat the daily planner. I loved my daily planner. But then I say things like, my daily planner is like Pinterest on my desk. And someone's going to think about that and go, yeah, it looks really pretty. It makes me feel good, but doesn't make me any more productive. Boom. Now we're off to the races, right? So when we're evangelizing, speaking, or messaging the solution and the problem through storytelling, we figure out and we find which stories resonate with our potential customer. And that story of me feeling behind the 8 ball before my feet hit the floor, I've done a video on it. I think it's been watched 55,000 times. It really resonated with people. They felt like that you feel the overwhelm, right? So, but you got to be able to, I think the difference with the core problem planner and looking at your customer journey, number one, looking at your customer journey. Number two, using this core problem planner, but taking the objections and breaking them down into 3 different types of categories. So you can stay on vehicle all day long. If that's all you want to do is talk about products that they're currently using that are not working and tell a story to shift that mindset, beautiful thing. Confidence, that's an internal, it's can I do it? That is going to be spoken to through testimonials and your customers' journeys, right? People need to identify with other customers that have gone through your program, right? And then the external time and money, those are, I will be honest and say, in the beginning, I felt like those were harder objections to overcome. But now when I think about time, you show up for the things that are important to you. You prioritize those things. If you're constantly saying, I don't have time for that, I don't have time for that, those things, you don't see value in those things. And money, you can make more money. I mean, if there is a problem, I'm going to go into a rap. I'll solve it, right? If anyone is with me from the 80s, you can make more money. You can go out and sell more of the thing to find the solution. That's why that $15 job, an hour job, that is why I transitioned online. Maggie, who signed, I don't know if you guys saw it, signed her letter of intent yesterday to play at the Citadel. she had wanted to do a training, and it was a very expensive training. It was like one of those things, like we go to it and they test it out. And I'm thinking to myself, she's not going to really like it. It's like bringing home that puppy, you're never going to return it. And after she went to that test and she was like, oh man, I really, really like it. I was like, okay, great. Well, we've got 3 other kids. We homeschool. And that's a really expensive budget item. But mama went out and found a solution, a $15 an hour job that ended up being the same amount that I would generate every month doing that job, was the same amount for that training. That's how all of this happened. Oh my gosh, it's so insane. And then, the culmination, it wasn't just because of the training, but part of that is, she got the scholarship. She's going to play D1 soccer. I mean, it just really is insane, isn't it? How the world just comes full circle. So we're going to recap here. I've talked about it several times. The problem that your customer faces, the solution, and it could be one product. It could be many. Don't try to put all of them in, all of the problems in just one solution. The cost it is for you to fulfill. And we look at that in terms of fulfillment by you. How much is your time worth? How much does it take you to fulfill that solution? You also look at the price that you're charging your customer. And then you also look at the value. How valuable is that problem? Well, for me personally, I'm just going to say I'm putting my flag in the sand. And what I want to do for other women, other entrepreneurs, and I know we have some men in this community as well, Gary, that I want to give you back your time. And so that is why we are so focused and so drilled down on Time Management Rockstar. Your face is going to slide off by the end of the month because I really want you to get this, right? I want to be known as that girl. I think people think of me of processes and systems, but I also want to be known as, simple systems, and she can get you back your time. So we'll talk more about that later. Evangelizing the problem. It's, talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old. If you're talking to the girl and she's like on the edge of her seat, like, take my money, tell me more. You're in my head. Oh my gosh, I feel exactly the same way. You know what that feeling feels like. And you also know that it's like their face is sliding off and it doesn't work. And so that's stop, right? All of the things that you're doing inside your core problem planner will help you to create your content plan. And your content plan could be a blog post about the problem. It could be a podcast episode. It could be a Facebook Live. It could be just a static post. It could be a quotable quote. It could be an Insta story. So many different things. You build your content around your customer's problem, because guess what? When you open the doors to let all the people in, you have already overcome their objections. And you're switching that belief that they have that's keeping them stuck and where they're not seeing progress in their business. So let's go into implementation, because at the top of the hour, I told you, guess how much time that I'm going to ask you to add to your calendar for implementation. And I hope that you winner, chicken dinner if you said 10 minutes. So here we go. I want you to schedule 10 minutes and problem solution, right? So just brainstorm, brain dump, 10 different problems that your customer has. You already know what your solution is. It's the product or service that you're selling. Does the solution match with who you think you're serving? I mean, that's an aha moment right there, right? That's all I want you to do. 10 minutes. That's it. That's all you're doing. The next thing I want you to do is on another day, make this a part of your morning routine. I want you to look at cost. So you're looking at your core problem planner, you're looking at cost. How much does it cost you to fulfill? Meaning, how many hours does it take for you to fulfill the product, and how much you charge at an hour? You're like, well, Rhonda, I'm charging a package rate. Well, in order to charge that package rate, you had to have some sort of hourly rate to come up with a price, right? What is the price that you're charging your customer, and what is the value? Is it a valuable problem that you are solving? That's another aha moment, right? And then look, so we're on day 3 here. Schedule 10 minutes. Evangelize. Talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old. Okay. Break that problem down. So, because our attention span is so short, break that problem down. So it's literally like, she knows she's my go-to. She knows what the solution, right? And then here we go. Optimization comes from conversation. So again, if you have not already started having conversations with your customers, we can start doing that with content, Facebook Lives, blog posts, email your people, email their problem, tell them what they're having a problem with, tell them a story, right? Or even I say stories meaning Facebook Messenger, or Facebook stories, or Instagram stories, right? So I want to give you some concrete tools and resources that many of you, I know everybody in here has Tech Lab, some have SAP frameworks. So in order to accomplish the task of really digging into your customer journey inside of Tech Lab, here are some recommended resources that I suggest that you go with. One, Video Ask. Video Ask is your friend. I don't care if you've got a product or a service. This little tool, and you can start with the very bottom tier, which is a free version. It's what I started with. I think we're spending $20 a month on it now. Video Ask can transform your business. And you don't have to have 10 questions. You could just have 2. When we're done with this workshop, I'm going to share a Video Ask in here with you guys, okay? Because I want to hear your aha moments that you have. It's going to be very simple. I want your name and your email, right? That's how I can send something back to you. I want your aha moment from today, and what you're going to go and implement. Like, that is my next question, because we're all about implementation. You have in there, if you're not familiar with Zoom, I mean, everyone at this point, I think, probably is familiar with Zoom, but we have a whole training inside of Tech Lab. Loom is your best friend. And you're like, well, how is Loom your best friend? In some instances, some folks have asked me questions, and it's easier for me to do a video than it is to type out the response, meaning if I've got to like show you where things are or maybe explain things, there is a Loom tutorial in there. There's also, because I put in here email, there is an email marketing. There's an email marketing tutorial, but there's also tutorials for MailerLite, ConvertKit, Entreport, and there's another one. There's one more that Entreport, and it's another one I'm not thinking about. So those are all in Tech Lab. If you're using SAP frameworks, so it all starts with how to create a process. And we actually have a how to create a process workshop in your workshop dashboard. Discovery call, Facebook Live, testimonial process, visibility process. Those are what I would recommend, the tools and resources that I would recommend for inside of SAP frameworks. So what I'm saying to you is that in order to understand your customer journey, you don't need a bunch of tools, okay? First thing is the spreadsheet, right? That's what we're going to start with. And only thing I want you to start with is 10 minutes, just 10 minutes a day. Don't sit down with a spreadsheet, please, and spend an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours and try to put the whole puzzle together and think that the solution can happen just like with a snap of a finger. Manage our expectation of time for this solution. And if we do 10 minutes a day and you write them out, you're going to have aha moments all along the way. And in those aha moments, there will also be questions. And those questions, all you have to do then is turn around and come in here and say, hey, Rhonda, this is what I'm thinking. Does this match up? And I'm going to be like, yeah, talk to me like a 5-year-old and help me understand your solution. Tell me a story. And it's only going to help you get better. And you've got the whole community here as feedback as well. Okay. So let's take a look. Recap. Oh my gosh. We have just gone through. This is a dense topic, but it is a critical topic when it comes to processes and tech for you in your business, the customer journey. So we defined what that is, and it's really understanding the belief, the objections around the problem that you solve for your customer, whether that's in a product, it could be a physical product, it could be a digital product, or a service. We talked about the 3 categories of beliefs. Vehicle, just think vehicle, think about the planner. It is the product that they are currently using to solve their problem, and it's just not working for them, right? Internal, all about confidence. Can I really do it? She can do it, I can. And then external, always time and money. And we've kind of covered the time and money objection. We went through the core problem planner. This is your new bestie. Like I didn't want to tell you before today, but the Core Problem Planner is your new bestie. It's 10 problems, it's 10 solutions, it's evaluating the cost. Talk to me like a 5-year-old. Is it working? You practice your message with storytelling, and we all have amazing stories. Implementation, break down each part of that Core Problem Planner 10 minutes a day. And I gave you the tools and resources, whether it's inside of Tech Lab or whether it is inside SOP frameworks. And then you always have me here in this community. If you want to enjoy more of the things you love, understanding your customer journey can help you do that. Your customer journey can free you. So the weight that you've been carrying around about marketing your business, the weight that you have been carrying around what social you need to be posting and not doing it for not just checking a box off for the sake of checking a box off. You know, out of the 4 children, they have all very different learning styles, and they have, I would say, different work ethics. And Jack, he has a strong work ethic, my youngest, but sometimes I feel like he is doing the work for the sake of doing the work to check the box off. And I am constantly impressing upon him, it's the whole. It's you know, think about it in terms of the whole, not just let's get through. And they're learning German this year. So don't just do German for the sake of doing German and checking it off the list. Math, don't miss 10 and just check math off and because you've done it, but you missed 10. If we've missed 10, then we've missed the concept. Let's circle back and figure it out, right? So your customer journey, understanding that, it will really give you a roadmap to where it will give you a roadmap so that you can do more of what you love. I sound like a commercial, don't I? So we're going to hop right into Q&A. I've got the Rhonda Bups right now. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this. I am going to do a video ask, guys. And I will, let's see, stop screen share. I'm going to do a video ask to see what those aha moments are. If there are things that I did not explain or that you still have questions about, ask them in this thread. I mean, I'm more than happy. I'm here to serve, right? Let's see. What do we got? Okay. I didn't see that. Yes. Okay. Lana. Okay. 10 minutes, Leslie. Yes. Hey, Jen is rocking and rolling, girls. She is, she's going to be booked out. She's going to hit 2021. She has turned in her notice to her job. She's going to be home full time. The girls are full-time home with her. So, but she is constantly using Time Management Rockstar. That's a trigger for her. She has triggers in her business. And I have been seeing you post your social. Oh, I love it, Jen. It's and more engagement. That's good. Okay. Sharing success stories of my clients with my prospects converts almost every time. I love it. And once you build out, I don't know, Kelly, if you are using that video ask, that to me is worth the price of admission to the simple, like I could say that about Myron Golden. I mean, I could say that about all these different things, right? But sometimes it's just like that one thing that is so impactful to you in your business that you're just like, you have got to use this. It will be so transformational. So if your success stories are already converting, what about taking videos of success stories and posting those in your on your business page, or posting them in stories, highlighting your customer success, creating word stories, ice baby. Okay. Thanks for spending some time with us today. Click the link. It's the first link. We make it super simple for any of the tools and resources that we talked about in today's video, helping you make it easy for your freedom to impact.